Hey, I'm Alex Ratcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to go through a bunch of news pieces, the various videos of the week, the games I played, although this week we are going to be skipping the Board Game Geek hotness. Usually I do that segment, but frankly, I'm heading to Origins this week, and I am desperately trying to get everything. Between going to Ivy Games last week and going to Origins this week, and then Dice Tower East in 2.5 weeks, I might be pushing a bit much as far as how much I can do. I might push myself too much. I'm going to skip the Board Game Geek hotness. That's the leeway I'm going to give myself this week. I'm going to enjoy that little vacation, 5 minutes back for myself to go ahead and play a game. I'm going to go play 3 games tonight. I already have them lined up. I'm ready to go. That's happening right after this video. Well, technically Walmart's happening after this video, and then I'm playing 3 games tonight. So, hey, priorities. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. This is the News and Week in Review. We're going to start off with some variety of news pieces, starting off with a bunch of board game news. We have Northgard, Uncharted Horizons. From Open Sesame Games, Northgard is coming back with a expansion to the original Northgard board game based on the Northgard video game. That'll be coming away soon. We also have over here, we have Shimmering Skies, if I accept cookies. We have Shimmering Skies coming to you from Lorcana, the newest set in hobby stores everywhere, August 9th, 2024, which is right after Gen Con. So are they doing a Gen Con release of Shimmering Skies? I do wonder. Last year Gen Con was when Lorcana was introduced to the world and became a little crazy. So I'm intrigued. I'm still fascinated by Lorcana. I don't know. I was very into it. Vanellope Von Sweets. You gotta be kidding me. Vanellope Von Sweets? I want it all. Okay, you see, this is the problem. I love it. I want it. I want Lorcana. I don't want to get sucked into it. So I'm trying to remain strong. I do have some Lorcana. I still play it here and there, just very infrequently with the basic cards. I refuse to go heavy into it, although a big part of me wants to. And then we have over here Minos from Stan Kodonsky, coming to you from Board and Dice. Game looks delightful. I love Stan's work in general, so I'm very excited to find out more about this one. We also have over here 2 games coming to you from, I believe, both from Reina Knizia, if I'm not mistaken. We have Iliad and Icar. I think it's Icar. Is it Icar? Icar? Probably Icar. Either way, we have these 2 games coming to you from Bitewing Games, who put out a bunch of fantastic, easy to learn, easy to absorb, easy to play games. But we have these 2 coming from Bitewing Games. We also have over here Burgle Bros 3. Burgle Bros has had a 1, a 2, and now a 3. Granted, that was probably implied just from the very nature of the Burgle Bros 3. But this kind of heist game with multiple layers, multiple levels. I played the original Burgle Bros. Fascinating game. Never dove into 2, and 3 obviously not yet. We also have over here, we have Horrified. Horrified World of Monsters faces off against Cthulhu this August. Basically, we have Cthulhu finally being introduced to the Horrified series, which almost feels overdue in a way, because it's Cthulhu and Horrified, but it is finally happening, so actually, I still have to review Horrified Greek monsters. I think I'm several games behind on the Horrified genre, but I am excited to see Cthulhu introduced to this world, because I like Horrified, and I like Cthulhu, and the 2 together shall take over your dreams. We also have over here Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters Anniversary Edition. Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters, a very fun kids game. I played it back in the day with my kids. They really enjoyed it. But it was one of those games that they really enjoyed, but we never really pulled off the shelf all that much, so it falls into that mid-range. But they are coming out with the Anniversary Edition for Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunters coming shortly. And that's basically what we have for the new game stuff, or at least the new game I'm choosing to talk about. But we also have over here Codenames. Codenames, which announced itself maybe a long time ago they announced Codenames, and they are finally coming out September 5th. You can go ahead and pre-order the game right now if you're interested in it. I've seen the game, I think was it PAX Gen Con? I think it was Gen Con. Gen Con last year I got to see a nice demo of the game, and I've been very eagerly anticipating it ever since. I believe it's going to be $5. I will happily buy that as soon as it's available. I don't do the whole pre-order thing. I don't feel the need to. Says the guy who backs crowdfunding games. But in the case of the app, I'll wait till it's available. I'll buy it then, but I definitely do want to go ahead and play this. I love Codenames, one of my most played games, and my only hope is that this doesn't kill the game for me. But they have daily challenges and fun things like that. I don't know. I'm interested. I'm interested in playing this. We also have over here, we have the Dicebreaker's future remains unclear. Basically, Dicebreaker was bought from IGN, and then staff was made redundant, which is it's corporate talk for firing people. I'm conflicted because I do understand and believe that when you have any form of acquisition, there are times when roles do get eliminated. Redundant obviously makes it sound so much more politer than we fired people, but I do believe there are times and opportunities and reasons to let people go that make sense from a company perspective. I also believe that, what's the thing I've seen recently, that prices are going up drastically across the board because of inflation, yet corporate profits are actually soaring, so it's really a lot of greed disguised under what is actual inflation too, and propped up by a whole lot of, hey, look, we can actually keep these prices high even when things adjust. So both things are true. I think that there are many times reasons for things like, well, letting people go, and also it feels It feels icky. It feels icky. I don't know. But either way, Dicebreaker's future remains unclear, as the silent site makes editor-in-chief redundant. Basically, I believe Matt Jarvis and a variety of people were let go from Dicebreaker, and that means it's a little unclear what's happening next with Dicebreaker. Also, to anyone in that situation, best of luck finding something. I'm sorry. It sucks to lose a job. From there, we also have the this is a great article. This one's a great one. I highly recommend you read this one. Basically, long story short, Handsome Gluck kind of pursued Meeple Inc. for their game. They kind of they said, hey, cease and desist. You're using the word Meeple. That word is trademarked by us, and you can't use it. Which is interesting because apparently they've had the trademark for a while, but they haven't really necessarily enforced it, and they decided to enforce it now, which resulted in a lot of people feeling like Meeple belongs to the people. Not meant to rhyme there, but Meeple, the word Meeple, should belong to the people. The fact that Handsome Gluck trademarked it feels wrong. It just feels like it's a word that's so much in popular use, and so many games do use that word and haven't had any issues, which put people in a weird spot as to, is this or is this not a word that is usable? In the meantime, and they have a whole thing, again, highly recommend check out this article from Board Game Wire, great editorial about the whole situation, including Handsome Gluck talking about how they regret how it was handled, and kind of semi-talking it back, but not fully pulling it back. But in the meantime, we have Corey Thompson decided to go ahead and trademark the word in the US. Almost as I mean, I don't think this was his words, but I'll say it seemingly from the article as a little bit of a middle finger to Handsome Gluck saying, good luck with that. We're going to go ahead and make it a hard time for you. Basically, he specifically is trademarking the usage of the word with the goal of it being something that could be utilized. He believes in the word being, well, a word that belongs to the board game community and not one that belongs to any one publisher. Again, with these situations, I am a little sympathetic to like the side of Handsome Gluck. Like they did put out Carcassonne, it's very much associated with Carcassonne, but also they didn't create the word. It wasn't a word that was created by them. There's a whole history with the word Meeple, my people. It was utilized by, came up with by a bunch of people at the table, and so like I don't know. It feels like a word that belongs to people. I'm all for Corey on this one for what he's doing to make it harder for Handsome Gluck to enforce anything and possibly to make things difficult for them. Very curious to see how this will play out. And also, Corey, you're awesome. And then lastly, we have over here an article from Stonemaier that I thought was very well done. Very interesting article. How to serve customers whose collections are complete. He basically talks about how they sent out a poll kind of talking about, he sends out a poll yearly about to their consumers, talking about, like, does your collection feel complete, or are you still in the gathering phase? And the numbers are shifting more to complete each year. More each year that goes by, more people feel that they are iterating and adjusting and, deluxifying their collection as opposed to really chasing all those games, which represents a shift in a constant marketplace. And he talks about how do you serve a customer who's not actively looking to buy new games. And he just goes into, like, the nature of being a good business and being there for your customers and not just being mindful of your own needs, but being mindful of your customers' needs and how to find that win-win. I think it's a very fascinating article, definitely worth reading from anyone who's in the space, because you really always have to remember that ultimately as a business, you only exist and continue to exist as long as you're providing value to your customers, which means if your customers' needs are changing, you need to change if you want to stay relevant. Thought it was a really well done article, worth reading from anyone who's, well, in the business. And that's what we have for the news side of things, which means it's time to go ahead and dive into the games I played. Like I said already, we're skipping the board game hotness or whatnot. We'll come back to that next week. Hopefully it's busy. I'm telling you, it's too much stuff happening. But anyways, as far as the lost my train of thought. As far as the games I played. So I have a few games I played this past week. As usual, this is a short selection of the games I played, usually focusing on things that you shouldn't expect to see reviews anytime soon on. So usually games I've already played or games I'm not going to bother to review. For that, we have Things and Rings, which I've played like 10 times this past week. Things and Rings is delightful. I've already reviewed it on the channel. Since reviewing it, I've played it a whole bunch because it's just that much fun. It's a game that it is easy to travel with, it's portable, it's quick to teach, it is engaging, it is addictive, it is so much fun to play Things and Rings. I genuinely cannot get enough of the game. It's falling into games like So Clover and Codenames and Just One, games that I'm just addicted to, frankly. Games that I am addicted to playing, and Things and Rings very much falls into that. I've introduced it to, I don't know, at least 7, 8 new people this week as we continue to just play game after game in multiple groups of players. It is satisfying. It is again, it's the first 5 out of 5 I gave this year, excluding things like Primal or Slay the Spire. I don't think Slay the Spire got a 5 out of 5. Either way, Things and Rings, delightful game, highly recommend it. We also have 4 Northward, which is still delightful. I was traveling this week, and so I played 4 Northward because whenever I travel, I try to play 4 Northward. You can play it at home too. It's just so much fun to play. I love the game. I think it's fantastically well done. It's another game that's a 5 out of 5 for me, and I have so much fun with it. It is such a good game. I constantly recommend it. I've gifted it to multiple people, and it is a game that I anticipate continuing to play again and again and again. 4 Northward is a solo trick-taking puzzle with a bit of a journey book, storybook adventure. Really satisfying experience that I cannot recommend enough. And then lastly, we have Apiary, which we're really going downhill here because Apiary is only a 4.5 out of 5 for me, but I got a chance to play Apiary again this past week, and I still enjoy Apiary. It is still a great game. It continues to deliver a great worker placement experience. It was a tight game. It did not win, unfortunately, but, you know, that's the way it works out. You don't win everything, but Apiary is lots of fun. I think it's a smooth, elegant game that really just... It's not, I don't know, it's a fun game. I like finding new combos of the way everything works together. If you're looking for a B placement game with the recall turns, with growing workers, and great production, and a whole lot of things that just work really well together, I think Apiary is absolutely fantastic. Between Expeditions and Apiary, Stonemaier hit it out of the park for me last year, and I'm curious to see what comes from them this year. As far as the week in review, the videos of the week, starting off with this past Saturday, we had a review for Fosilis. This was an older review. In general, I always have a backlog of videos specifically to help me when I'm doing things like moving houses or traveling way too much while moving houses and trying to manage job, family, and everything. It's way too much. But either way, Fosilis over here is it's an older review, but it did finally go up. Someone pointed out that I mentioned that one of their games was like coming up or something like that. I don't remember which one it was, and this is an old video. It's an older video that finally went up. But either way, I enjoy Fosilis. I think the production is top notch. It's not my favorite KTBG game, but the production, I want to own it because it's so well produced, and it is still good, but I have other KTBG games I prefer. Later on Saturday, we have a review for Living Forest, a game I started off really strong on, and then the more I played it, the more I leveled out to just enjoying the game. And I still do enjoy the game. I do wonder if the expansion would boost it for me. I just think Living Forest is a game that once I got a few plays in, I kind of felt like the magic was going down a bit, which does happen. Some games start off really strong, and then the more you play them, it's like, okay, great, you weren't a game that's good for 10 plays, you're a game that's good for 3 or 4 plays. That does happen sometimes. Living Forest, I really started off very high on and just moved down to a nice medium. I still enjoy it. I still think it's a good game, but it dropped a bit for me. I think to a 3.5 out of 5. On Sunday, we had 8 games if you like chess. Giving you 8 games to check out if you like chess. There were 2 very commonly requested games that were not on the list. One was Mythic Mischief, which I love Mythic Mischief, make no mistake. I don't think of it as chess-like. It definitely has a strategic appeal, but a little less chess-like than, I don't know. I mean, I guess you can make the argument about anything, but either way, I didn't put it in there. And then one that got a million comments was War Chest. They had a ton of people asking for War Chest, which I think War Chest is a great game. Oh, the Duke. There were a few people who talked about the Duke. The Duke is a good game that I haven't played in so long. I even forgot that was a relevant one, but that would have been great. War Chest for me is a good game that I just didn't put in the list, but a whole lot of people thought it should be in the list. On Monday we had my 10 most anticipated crowdfunding campaigns. This was games that I'm waiting for them to deliver, not games that I'm waiting for the campaign to go live. I got someone pointed out that I missed Iridia on that list. Iridia should have been on the list. It absolutely should be in my top 10, although I guess that means number 10 got bumped out. But either way, my top 10 most anticipated crowdfunding campaigns. My number 1 being Cthulhu Death May Die, seasons 3 and 4, because I am very excited for those. On Tuesday we had a review for Unstoppable. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed the game, although I did have a small errors gaffe in the rules. There was one deck of cards that I was like, oh, this must be like a module. It's specifically related to one of the bosses, and I missed that. So if you do watch my review, the story deck situation wasn't like a module. It's you have to read the boss card and be like, oh, this is a boss card, which is ironic because one of my complaints was that the bosses in the game, because I played 2 of the 3 bosses in the game. And, sorry, I played 2 of the 3 bosses in the game, and the 3rd boss, ironically, has one of the things I wanted the most, which is, like, really changing up the game state. So, my review still stands in terms of my overall opinion, which is a 4 out of 5. I really like the game. I do wish some things were more intricate, although if they have more bosses like the 3rd boss that I didn't play, then that would partially solve that problem. But overall, I think it's a really good game, a really good solo game. It's playable 2-player as well, but I don't think the 2-player was as fun, at least not for me. It felt more disparate as opposed to together. But either way, really enjoyed Unstoppable. Check that one out currently on crowdfunding. Later on Tuesday, we had a review from Medici from Steamforged Games. It's a solid auction game. I think it's a really, really well done auction game. My biggest issue is I just think Ra is a more satisfying experience. In fact, the reason Ra's on the table right now is because Medici made me want to play Ra. That was the end result. But either way, I still enjoyed Medici and gave it a 3.5 out of 5. And lastly, on Tuesday, we gave a review to Crokinole. This, technically, I gave Crokinole a 5 out of 5 because it's an amazing game and I love it. It is technically a 5 out of 5, but whenever I review my old classics I just happen to not review, I still don't think of it as giving a new 5 out of 5. It's just letting you know, if you missed it already in many of my top 100 lists, that I think Crokinole is amazing. I love it. It's a 5 out of 5. just me going through my older titles and reviewing those that I haven't actually reviewed yet. I never reviewed Terraforming Mars. That will be another 5 out of 5 when that eventually happens. On Wednesday we had an Awaken Realms ranking, going over a bunch of Awaken Realms games and ranking all the Awaken Realms games in order from least to most. I don't believe Grim Coven was in the video. I think I filmed it right before I played Grim Coven, so that one's out of order. Although I don't actually, I'd have to like pull up the list to see where it falls, but either way. And then on Thursday we had, speaking of Terraforming Mars, Thursday we had a throwback video to an older video of me playing Terraforming Mars solo. I filmed that, I think, in late 2022, so like it's almost 2 years old at this point. I have a few videos like that in the queue, things that just never went up, and with me doing all the stuff I've been doing, I've been dipping down into that well of older videos. Although sometimes videos like this, they get to a point where like they may never go up, but in this case, I wanted a gameplay up, so enjoy me watching 2 years older, 2 years ago me struggling through Terraforming Mars. Later on Thursday, we had a review for Expedition to Newdale. This one had some small video quality issues because effectively the video was lost and it had to be recovered. So there's some small little gaps in the video, but overall a review of Expedition to Newdale went up. It's a good game. Didn't love it, unfortunately. I was hoping for more from it. Later on Thursday, or lastly on Thursday, we had 6 small box game reviews, reviewing Contrabanter and Tether and Unfold, and 3 other games. I could try to remember it all. But there are 6 other games, 6 small box game reviews. This is a regular series I do on the channel, and there's 6 of them in case you want to check that out. That was Thursday. That was Thursday, yes. Friday we had an Origins Day 1 video. Hopefully, I should say. In general, when I go to Origins, I'm going to be at Origins Game Fair. In fact, right now, if you're watching this, I'm currently at Origins. Am I? Either way, I'm currently at Origins Game Fair, but anyways, you can go and check out Friday's video. Is a covering Origins Game Fair for those who are either there and want to see some games, or those who didn't go. I should hopefully have a walkthrough of the fair going up Friday. I say hopefully because in general, when I go to these conventions and film, sometimes I'm able to edit on the fly and give you a video, and other times not. Hopefully this is one of the times where I am able to. Which brings us to today. Today we're going to have 2 videos going up. We will have So Clover, another older review for a game that I love going up. I love So Clover. It's phenomenally well done. Huge fan of the game. And then we'll also have a review for A Message from the Stars from Allplay. You can check that one out as well. And then next week we're going to have a few things going up. As usual, a whole list of videos going up, but we should have 2 that are interesting. One is 10 games that don't translate well to Board Game Arena. I should have that video going up. Just going over a bunch of games that I think don't translate as well from being a good game to being a good game on Board Game Arena. Kind of a polar video to a video I did a long time ago of 10 great games to play on Board Game Arena. This is the opposite of that. And then I also have another video covering the VIP dollar pledge again. Motivated by the fact that there was a new campaign that decided to do a $5 pre-order pledge, changing the nature of the game, and that motivated me to do another video on the conversation. So if you're sick of it, I get it, and if you're not sick of it, enjoy that video. And as far as the games on the table, these as usual, a bunch of games I hope to dive into. We have Life of the Amazonia, which I still need to play. I have been playing games, just not as much with everything going on. We have Ra, which I'd love to play. The Hunt, both of these from 20th Century Games, by the way. Ra, I've played a lot. The Hunt, I've read the rules for and have not yet played. And then we also have Effortless. This is going to be an upcoming crowdfunding campaign that I hope to be diving into to be able to give you some review coverage in this one from the creator of Expressions, which I reviewed recently. In any case, and until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have an excellent week. If you're at Origins Game Fair and you happen to see me, if I'm there, I don't remember my game plans. I think we'll see. I might be there. If I'm there, then feel free to stop me and say hi. I definitely was at Origins. The question is, I don't know my Saturday plans yet. I'm either there the whole weekend or I'm going back in order to pick up my kids and come back Sunday. So I don't know if I'm there Saturday or not. We'll find out, I guess. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And as always, I hope you have a good one.